Hey you guys, happy Halloween. I'm so happy that you're here with me and because I want to tell you guys about one of the scariest experiences that I've ever had, paranormal experiences in an apartment that I used to live in that was beyond haunted. It was not just like a normal haunting. It was something that was dealing with demonic forces. Of course, I'll get into all of that and let you guys know about the experiences that I had. So if you want to be scared, you want to hear some spooky, scary stories from a psychic medium, then just keep on watching. So I'll start by telling you guys about the apartment. It was actually really beautiful. It was a 2-bedroom situated in a converted 2-family house. So there were actually 4 apartments all together. I was on the 2nd floor. There was an attic apartment, a basement apartment, and then a couple who lived on the 1st floor. And it was beautiful. It had everything that I wanted. It was modern. You know, nice kitchen, nice countertops, a nice modern bathroom, hardwood floors. It had an eat-in kitchen, big dining room, big living room. I thought that, okay, this is perfect. This is just what I'm looking for. And when I initially contacted the realtor to go take a look, everything felt fine to me when I went to go view it. Nothing seemed off, nothing seemed creepy, and it was actually really nice, and that's why I decided to take it. So I didn't have any initial hesitations about the apartment whatsoever. You know, looking back now, one thing that was really weird was in the online pictures that were posted, there was one in particular that was of the kitchen, and it looked like the landlord was doing something to the floor because there was like some tarps down, some buckets of something. I really don't know, but it looked kind of like maybe he was cleaning it, and maybe that his camera got dirty because it just looked like the orbs in the picture. But based on what the picture was taken of, I thought, okay, well, maybe his camera was just dirty. Honestly, I did not think that those were orbs and that it was actually activity. But now that I look back, I see completely that those were orbs and that was not dirt on his camera. So as I began to settle in, I even had a nice little housewarming party. My friends were there, my family was there. I felt really comfortable still at that time. You know, even a couple months in, didn't really get the vibe that anything was wrong. I was just enjoying it, setting it up, you know, ordering new furniture for myself. I got a nice dining room table, got a new couch, some recliners, and just enjoyed that. But one thing that was kind of off was the bedroom that was off of the kitchen. It always had a dark vibe to it. It always had a heaviness, I will say. There was a heaviness to it, so much to the point that I actually chose to not even use that as my bedroom. I was like, you know what? I think I'll use the one off of the dining room as my bedroom, and I'll use that back one as my beauty room. You know, I turned it into a huge walk-in closet. I had my vanity in there. All my clothes were in there, set up nice on garment racks. You know, it was really cute, but I never even enjoyed using it. And there was actually something off that I could pick up on about the closet. The closet in that room. It was, it was almost as if someone hurt themselves back there. And just being able to pick up on the energies, I knew that I didn't want to sleep in that back room. I knew I wouldn't feel comfortable. When you are a psychic medium, it kind of comes with the territory, picking up on energies, and you know, you can't keep running from it. So some things you just kind of have to accept it for what it is and keep pushing forward. And I noticed that I did that a lot living in this apartment. You know, as time passed, I noticed that the couple on the 1st floor fought all the time. I wasn't close with them. I never spent time with them. I never went down to their apartment. They never came up to mine. And I thought that maybe they fought so much because they party too much, they drink so much. They just didn't seem like the most settled and stable people. So I just thought that they had issues that they needed to work through. You know, it was certainly none of my business. And I never really heard Excuse me. And I never really heard what the arguments were about. I just knew that I could hear them screaming, yelling, arguing with each other. But even so, at the time, I didn't think that that was something that was paranormal. I just thought it was them and what they're going through. And now that I look back and I see the pattern of people who moved in and out of the apartment, I know that a lot of what caused problems between the two of them was the energy. So as the months passed, nothing really significant happened. Nothing that would, make me feel scared. I actually felt really comfortable. I'm in this big 2-bedroom apartment. I'm all by myself, and I actually never felt like there was anything to be worried about. One thing that I will say was weird. I mean, there's nothing that I could do or could have done. So it's just like one of those things where you experience it and you just kind of put it behind you. Even in the wintertime, when I would go to check my mail and the mailbox was outside off of the first floor, you could just smell like a bouquet of fresh flowers. It smelled like spring. There was these cute little bushes in the front of the house, and I could smell them. And I just thought it was weird, and I just thought, okay, maybe I'm just getting more in tune. But it wasn't something that scared me. It was something that kind of fascinated me. And I thought that it was so bizarre that even in the winter, I could smell the flowers on those bushes as if it was springtime and they were in full bloom. So that just lets me know that the house was alive. The house was so fixated in different times. It's like it held so many memories. Even in the wintertime, it was as though those bushes were still bloomed. So up until this point, it's a few months that I've lived there now. Nothing really strange has happened. Nothing bizarre has happened. Yes, the couple on the first floor fights a lot. And yes, it's kind of weird how I go outside even in the middle of winter and I smell as if the flowers are bloomed. But it wasn't anything that would at all make me want to leave or feel uncomfortable living there. But I have to tell you about the night that everything changed. I had to go try and get a nap in because at that time I worked 3rd shift. I worked in a lab for this big diagnostic company. Before I started, doing YouTube full time, my background is in lab work. So had to get ready for my 3rd shift. Needed to take a nap, laid down, everything was normal, everything was fine. And that nap turned into one of the worst lucid nightmares I've ever had, ever. A dream started out dreaming that I was laying in my bed in my apartment and I could see the door from my bed. And you know how there's that little space between the door and the floor, and if someone's standing outside the door, you can kind of see their shadow? That's what I saw. But it felt like it was so real. I felt like I was awake, and it felt like there was something or someone outside my bedroom door that was trying to come in. I was petrified. I thought that there's something that's coming to get me. And then all of a sudden, the dream shifted, and I thought I woke up. But this time, I was in my parents' house in my old bedroom. I thought I was awake. So I got out of bed, went down the stairs because I wanted to go find my mom. As I'm walking down the stairs, it's like I started to realize that I was dreaming. I was awake in my dream. I was conscious in my dream. So there was just a flood of paranoia, and luckily I saw my mom on the couch, so I wanted to go over there and talk to her. But as I got closer, I noticed that it wasn't my mom. It looked like my mom, but then it was this evil version of her. There was this creepy red light that was shining down from the ceiling onto my mom's head. And she was contorted in a weird way. She was sitting on the edge of the couch, but she was contorted. Face was turned to the side, and she was looking at me through the side of her eye. she says to me, you know, your mom's a witch. You know, your grandmother's a witch too. Like, what is this thing? This is not my mom. So of course I ran screaming out of the living room into the kitchen to try and find my mom. So then I thought I found her. Her back was turned to me. She was ironing. And you know, I'm calling to her to try to get her to turn around to try to help me. And when it turned around, it was not my mom. It was like another creepy demonic version of her. And I remember she had on pink lipstick and it was just so bizarre. And she had this evil grin, and all she kept doing was laughing at me. It was so frightening, and I'm trying to find my mom so she can help me. So I ran out of the kitchen, away from that, whatever that thing was, ran into the bathroom because I thought she was in there. When I opened up the bathroom door, it was like steamy, it was foggy. She was just getting out of the shower, and I remember I just saw her like stepping out of the tub with the towel on, and when I looked at her face, it was not my mom. It was like another creepy demonic version of her. So that was like 3 different versions, doppelgangers of my mom that I saw, that I was like trying to run away from. That this is a lucid dream. The whole time I know that I'm dreaming and I can't get out of it. I can't wake up. I ran out of the bathroom, back into the living room, into the dining room to try to get up the stairs. It was so scary because I didn't want to go up the stairs, because I knew that if I went up the stairs, I was going to see myself asleep in the bed. And I don't know, for some reason, I felt like if I was to go up those stairs and see myself asleep in the bed, that I wouldn't be able to wake up. I didn't know what was going to happen. So what I did was yell to myself from the bottom of the stairs. And I just kept screaming, Lynn, wake up! Lynn, wake up! Like I kept screaming to myself as myself, hoping that I would wake up and wake out of all of this and like really wake up in real life and be in my apartment. That didn't work. I thought I woke up, yet I was still dreaming. I woke up again. I was in my old bedroom again, in my parents' house. But this time, thank God, my grandmother, who passed away when I was 15, she came to save me. She came to wake me up out of that like demonic, lucid nightmare. She looked so beautiful too. She came through the door. She had like her little walker. And she was saying like, Lynn, you gotta wake up. Lynn, you gotta wake up. And I remember I woke up in the dream and I saw her and I said, oh, what time is it? I gotta get ready. And she was like, why are you sleeping so much? Are you partying too much? You know, she was like being like teasing me, being cute. And I said, oh no, I'm not partying too much. I've been studying. I gotta go to work. At that point, my grandmother woke me up. And I woke up in real life. So it's like she came to save me, thank God, out of that nightmare. So when I woke up for real, I turned on all the lights in the room. I was so paranoid. I was so afraid. I actually called my mom, crying to her. Can you imagine a grown woman calling their mom because they had a nightmare? But that's how frightening it was. That's how pivotal it was. That's how bizarre and strange and wrong that it was, that I needed my mom to comfort me. What could I do? I had to get up. I had to get dressed. I had to go to work. I had to like put that behind me. But it was from that moment on that everything in the apartment changed, because something that I was able to block out before now came through and was in my apartment. I had to move on from the nightmare. I couldn't keep thinking about it, although it was something that shook me. It was something that shook me and stayed with me, and it was so disturbing, and I could just feel from that moment that there was a presence. There was something there. Even though I didn't see it yet, I could feel that there was something like always around the corner, always watching me. I remember just sitting there, and something would always, I would see something out of the corner of my eye in the kitchen, and I would see something, and I would always like just keep looking, like seeing something there, but not seeing it when I turned and looked. Kind of a shadow, a figure, and yes, it was horrible. So at this point, I guess I'd been in the apartment maybe like 7-8 months, and my lease was for a year. And even though I wasn't close with the couple on the first floor. I noticed that one day they were just gone. Like they just stopped coming around, you know, because I would run into them from time to time, but I noticed that they weren't around anymore. Yet their car was still parked there. So I just thought that that was really bizarre. I was in my kitchen and I noticed that there was a dumpster parked in the driveway. So the landlord had rented a dumpster to clear everything out of their apartment because they left all of their belongings behind. The timing of things. The fact that I was in the kitchen at that time and just happened to look down into the dumpster and I saw that he threw a Ouija board out. So they had been playing with a Ouija board. And if you know anything about that, then you know that that is something that you should never do, because it's not a question of like, oh, are we going to make contact? Yes, you are going to make contact, but you don't know with what. You might not even get all the thrills of like being able to see what you make contact with. What it does is like release things. They left everything in their apartment and just left. That is super weird. That's super bizarre. And now that I look back, it makes me wonder what it is that made them just flee like that and leave everything behind. Because I feel like whatever was in that building was always there, has always been there. And it's something that influences people to go to a dark place. With all of the argumentative energy that was there, I think that it was always there and it like enticed them to explore the darker side of things. So eventually the landlord cleared out the apartment, got rid of all their stuff, got their car towed away. I never saw them again. And eventually another couple moved in down there. And I noticed that the same pattern with them started to continue. Such heated and loud arguments. So at that point, I knew that there was something going on, the energy of whatever was there. It just caused anger, it caused chaos, and it was so dark. So the couple that was down there went through the same thing, screaming, yelling, fighting. At this point, I'm totally creeped out in the apartment. I don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like I keep seeing things. I feel like something is always like right next to me. Something is watching me. I actually got a sense of what it was. I saw it in my mind's eye, psychically. It was something that was very demonic. It was negative, it was dark, and it was always like stalking me. I remember whenever I would go to take a shower, I would be so frightened. What am I gonna see when I pull back this shower curtain? Because I always felt like something was right there. The way that this thing looked, all that I could see in my mind's eye was it was gray in skin color. It was demonic. It wasn't something that had a gender. It wasn't something that was ever human. And all I saw were jagged teeth. That's all that I could see. It had gray skin and it had like these sharp, jagged teeth. And that's what was released. That's what was in the apartment. That's what I could see. The simplest of things, like going to take a shower, became such a frightening experience. I didn't even like to close my eyes to wash my hair because I just felt like, what am I gonna see when I open my eyes? And of course, like I'm telling my mom, telling my family about everything that's happening to me. So my mom was like, okay, just when your lease is up, just come and move back home and just figure out what you want to do. So that's exactly what I ended up doing. As soon as that lease was up, I was out of there. At that point, I didn't even want to be left alone in the apartment. I was spending so much more time at my family's house. Looking back now, there was some kind of energy from long ago. I think that it was a dark energy that was there, and it caused people to delve into that dark side of like Ouija boards and like the darkness, dark rituals, things like that. Argumentative, unhealthy, a very chaotic energy. So, you know, now that I look back and everything makes sense, especially about like the couples fighting on the first floor, smell of flowers in the middle of winter, the couple just taking off and leaving all their possessions behind, playing with Ouija boards, that horrible lucid nightmare where it just invaded my dream and was stalking me and showing me all of these weird demonic versions of my mom. It was something that was so disturbing. It is still with me to this day, and even to this day I'm so hesitant about looking for something that's not there, because I almost feel like that's a way that you conjure things, is like it's there, and if you want to look for it, it's gonna see that you're looking for it. A few months later, after I moved out, and even my mom had nightmares about it. My mom woke up from a really bad nightmare and told me that she was back in the apartment, but the apartment was empty, and the only thing that was left were like sheer white curtains. And she said that she saw them just blowing, the sheer curtains just blowing in the wind, and she thought to herself, no, I don't want to be here, I want to wake up, I don't want to be here. And like she was able to snap herself out of that nightmare. So there's definitely a darkness that's there, and I do wonder what happened to that couple. What are some of the experiences that other people are having in that building, in that apartment? And I'm just all right, you guys, so that is the story of my haunted apartment, one of the scariest paranormal experiences that I've ever had. I'm so glad that you guys have been here with me. Happy Halloween. Don't forget to like the video and comment below. Let me know if you guys have had any experiences like that. Comment below to what you think that was about my mom in that dream. Why did I keep seeing like different versions of her? Please tell me what you guys think about that. I love you all so much. Thanks for being here with me, and I will talk to you soon.